Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 2 of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. So yeah, we are continuing to talk about this freaking journalist or reporter that was at the crime scene. A reporter by the name of Menimemoism. Yes, holding me from dusk dawn till dusk. Stop. Now that he mentions it. They secretly spy, snapshots, yeah, he was like right there. Could the same reporter be? A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with right and many memo. So they're saying that this picture is taken by Many Memo! Yes, my lord, your excellency Esquire! Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We'll adjourn for a short recess in the meantime. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. As you say, Your Excellency. And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You'll solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood? Meh. Many memo! To be continued. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Ray. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know, that's why I decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what he said, Susato? That I had no doubt in your mind of my innocence, that you stand by me to the last. Sorry guys, I just coughed a lot and just like, oh god. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato, I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me, so drag me through the city streets. Girl, no. I know better, you know. Oh. Even though in my heart I knew that you pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back, there was just a brief moment in my mind. I doubted you. Susato, I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your trust in me, faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh no, no. I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Yes, father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray, yes? Can you find in your heart to forgive me? Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, Ray. I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well, now, whatever do you mean? And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time. That's right, just Miss Brett and myself, there was no one else. So I just don't understand because she could possibly have been stabbed like that. A great mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be alright. However it happened, whatever really went out by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you said you saw is true. Spoken like a true Megatoba. Now, I think we should discuss this coming up in trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order. Yes, I accept the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see. Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Chemical reagent? I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps they should have some as well though, just in case. Okay. I'm gonna examine this. Huh, okay. How about here? The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know. It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be a little help here, I'm afraid. Could you just have written medicine on in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it. German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Huh, so it's in German. I see. You're suddenly very quiet. It's this newspaper article. Exclusive? Yeah. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all the Englishman was doing. What? It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the library. The so-called English lady swaned in without any compunction and said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guests would love to hear about your work on the substance there." It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity has been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison. Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter was writing out the toxin about us would have caught a glimpse at the toxin too. This Menimemoism. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Then how did he take the picture? I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh? A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office, but he still snuck into the beach anyway. Yeah, he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Ah! Yes, that must be what happened. That's all! Just heard that new wind is not ready to pacify. Trial is about to resume procedure to cover blah 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 blah. It's time to steel ourselves once again then. Defense Attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo. Yes! Ray has put her face in me now and told me everything, so I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Membami. Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. Oh? What news? And why does he look so happy about it? During the recess, the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life. Excellent. I admire rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the region delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it should be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for inevitable. And Consul, what were the results? This dagger, which is so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I'll stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the regent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. Okay, maybe the poison was in the pen. In short, the accused people excused earlier hasn't already started. Ah! Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Okay. Bring in the witness. No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could toxin enter the victim's body? Can we not okay. Oh yes, this must be the victim's blood. Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run under hot tap and get it clean. You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father. I'm wondering if we could like open it and use it on the pen, but whatevs. I guess we can't do that. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Write to Menimemoism to show you news. I'm what people call a journal. What's a journal, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalists. I'm damn dare where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch the scoop so they're in the print the next morning. They don't call me the hero for nothing. Oh, so it was you who took this photograph, was it? Well, what have we here? I'm sorry? Oh, brace yourselves, people. Menimemoism senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young liar in Supreme Court. The readers are laughed and self-assertive about the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for their morning edition. Right then, let's start with your name. Isuyataru Naruhodo, why are you not answering the question? Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryutaro's we've suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kasuma Sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Auchi. That's Taketsuchi Auchi. The so-called dark horse is Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Witness. Yes? What the court demands to know is whether or not you're responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if it didn't click when pursued a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call to me, sometimes I have to chase them up, but either way, you gotta be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to ride with. It's no good if you don't know it down, I always say. That's what I call my Menimemoism. Menimemoism? Ah yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san. Yes, right, that was me, Menimemo again. But you're supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after a meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't, because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Mispressed words? A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's ruling aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. Just they are complex political issues at play. Huh. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here it goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's stories like a hammer in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness this firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes, from start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Menimemoism. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed at this event surrounding Miss Brett's death. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishman was sitting on a stool, and the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife. Throwing the Englishman to the floor, she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirits burst into flames, quick as a flash, and whipped out my camera ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for that perfect shot. What do you mean she threw Giselle down and then stabbed her? Reed screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly through and a great shot I snapped. The hot walls are just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze ring to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And he said that he took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Oh god, you sound so creepy. That is so freaking creepy. Like, that is a place for people to change their clothes in. Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime. A tendency is the purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's Menimemoism in a nutshell. God. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe it may be close to a verdict. No. Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied. The testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right. It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses! Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. Yeah, like, why didn't he freaking publish this story? Like, you claim that this is a very good scoop, but you didn't even publish it.
Hold it!
Okay, I'm just gonna, like, read through this. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. Nope, got it wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all that was inside the hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoop knows no gender. Man or woman is all news. It's not even Menimemoism. It's basic journalism. That's an invasion of privacy, though. If only the courtroom was just indiscriminate. Right, so if that's all button, I can move on. Okay, creepy dude.
Hold it!
The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted journalism. But student's rantings fell on deaf ears like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his similes first though, to be honest. TBH.
Hold it!
I think you're lying in this statement. These served before the score, they actually saw the precise moment the stabbing took place. Ha! The precise moment? Didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish. I have your simple plan at the beach hut. Oh, okay. Right you are. It's all here in my memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on the stool at the back of the hut here. Okay. She was just at the back of the hut smiling sweetly, so I noted down. It's my turn to test mine now. Try not to interrupt. Ugh. Then the next moment as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing fiercely. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, punched a knife to their adversary's back as the two passed each other. Huh. What you describe as a grim scene indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Menimemoism says. Okay. By the way, Menimemo-san. Well, so you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes looked up on the screen. Where were you? Did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture on film? Journalists have to be observers, you can't get involved. That's a rising theater. So if you see someone getting murdered in front of you, you're just gonna stand there and watch? Huh. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something you're proud of, is it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think the witness's last expertly praised statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what are you... I'll grant the defendant's request. Menimemoism, you supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of Menimemoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. Oh god, you believe in nihilism? Oh dear. Okay, pull it apart, pull it apart. Yeah, I don't really think I need to press this guy for that. Like, you just freaking use the camera. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke an Englishwoman. Are you sure? Really, you didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure of that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here, but what about the pen? Maybe it's yours? Okay. Okay, let me see this. Yeah, but where was the journalist at this time? Like, was he here? Or here? Or here? Wait, what's his name? RM. The freaking initials are RM. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was all I could do, stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of a camera. Menimemoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in these instances, Menimemoism comes out on top. A sculptor's story sometimes I'd be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Sure, he's making all this up. Okay, I got the gist of it, and I would like to present evidence to one of the witness testimony. Alright, Susato, let's do this.
Objection!
Menimemoism, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of Shoyu News on my arm. And that emblem is exactly the mark on the pen. Anyway, that's more Menimemoism. Sadly though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting? Just recommendatory words, Council? Menimemoism, do you recognize this fountain pen? Well, this pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murder victim was gripping in her hand as she died. What are you? If you look at the barrel of the pen, you notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM. Yes, thank you for bringing it out, Council. The initials of the accused Raymond Bami. No, the initials of the journalist. Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also RM? No! Write to Menimemo, RM. That's the horse dung. Can't you see one of the central tenets of Menimemoism is being a pencil user? And you have the same emblem on the pen. And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dung! Menimemoism, isn't that the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut?
Objection!
Why would you listen to absurd nonsense? Not but another excuse. Exactly. Show your news to stand behind me all the way and deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky. The defense is neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there's another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. In that case, Council, the difference is not short of course. Yeah, I know the emblem. Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is the emblem.
Got it!
As well as the initials, there's also the emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Menimemoism. Goodness me, it's the emblem to show you news. In other words, the owner of this pen is the employee of the Show You News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Menimemoism, how do you respond? No! Order! Explain yourself, witness! Hahaha. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. You were the one lying all this time. Alright then fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I, a Show You News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman. An interview? You never mentioned this before. When exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all, just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing. And as we many say, the people don't pay their dues or unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it, yes, alright, but... on one condition. Condition? In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san. Soseki-san? Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own, and brace yourselves because it's not a harmless one, it's big. What? Menimemoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Very well, I'll grant the witness request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand. Soseki-san hiding something? What's going on here? I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so left the hut without making a fuss. Why was she gripping her pen then? Then, watching secret from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran out to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why Menimemoism demands are real now. Just how many pencils do you have? I got so sick, Soseki-san just didn't say anything. You need to say the victim. The victim regained consciousness? Oh, well, and when she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yes. He did. And that's not all. The woman gave a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused. This is preposterous! Preposterous! Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did pose the withering English Rose a question, I won't deny it, but she could no longer speak. She was very conscious even. Counsel for the deepens. I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in a hut? They keep saying hut, and I just keep thinking of Pizza Hut. I remember eating a Pizza Hut when I was like a teenager, and then I got food poisoning. Okay.
Hold it.
Anyway, you asked her for an interview, you say. About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson? Is how I put it to her. Yes, that sort of talking is straight as a ruler. Okay. Veteran at the paper taught me that. How did Miss Brett answer? With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Phew, that told me. So it was right out there. Really? Something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together. Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say, is the best way. I don't think you left after that. I think you stayed after that.
Hold it.
Actually, it's thanks to that photograph they managed to identify this witness. And now they found me, tell you whatever you want to know. Got nothing to hide. I feel like you are lying. I'm sure.
Hold it.
What do you expect? You don't know that the terrifying troubles that autonomy was traveling aboard? Back, behind, baleful, bars. They'll be coming for me, surely. That's all I could think. I felt as though I was gasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat. Poor Soseki-san, his experiences in London have scarred him deeply. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal, emptiness, empty, eternity! The end is coming for me, surely! No, just had to resign my courtroom, please. And now, we come to the crucial part. Okay.
Hold it.
What question? What exactly did he say? Well now, she hit off her horse's mouth, I think. What is with you with horses? Don't you, Mr. Rider Man? Ah! Out with a yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? Well, in truth, I've been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man. But then, all of a sudden, from a little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. Ray. I ran to the beach to see what's happening to find the defendant leaning over the claw's victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brown on the ground, he sprinted out to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan for the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin! But what did you ask her, Soseki-san? I asked her, who did this to you? Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond? She didn't! She said nothing in response! But... When in the stand, you answer your questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony. I will! Asked her who did this to you, but she never replied. So I tried to find out who the culprit was. He who asks the question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. Oh, that is so true. And having been labeled a criminal twice in my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever! However, you indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because my stupid mustache, because I'm Japanese. No, she was poisoned, so she couldn't really speak. Oh dear, Soseki-san has really developed dislike for the English it seems. That's what happens if you face racism. Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. Xenophobia just happens to a lot of people. But the Englishwoman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Riderman? Well, yes, alright. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant. Poor Soseki-san is fidgeting constantly to stand next to Menimemoism. Yes, like a naughty child is waiting for punishment from his parents. It rather reminds me of you when you were younger. I was like that? Never mind that now. The question is, what happened? The question is, how far can we trust this reporter's account of events? We must focus our energies on gathering information and establishing facts. Yes.
Hold it!
Miss Spread pointed a finger at the defendant. Soseki-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing at the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of student girl who stands accused today. No, Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? But, fiddlesticks, I say! This is not a British court of law, you're responding in Japanese. Yes, of course, the Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing a slightly different direction. Actually, no! Not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all. You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wrapped slightly, but there can be no doubt that this is an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now evidently clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. I am inclined to agree. And in absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No. No! Hehehe, the hell is writing itself? Dashing Lars Hope's dash 92 point across the whole page. You'll do an extra edition. This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless you are able to identify the true culprit and substantiate your claim of evidence. The judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. How could Miss Brett be sat in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information gathered support, there must be an answer to a question. This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happens over, where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim? I know how. They're like outside the hut, right? Objection! Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being. Oh, to what end, Counsel? The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying jester. An alternative theory? Ha! None exists! There's someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all her remaining strength and pointing his trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction! Fantasy! Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I am prepared to hear alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruhodo, yes, Your Excellency. You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Over here? Like outside the hut? Naruhodo-san will never give up, and I'm a Naruhodo now. The true culprit fatally stabbed his bro is concealed this location here. Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut? Yes. Outside the reeds. The fragile reeds. Order! 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 But the student Lara Naruhodo-san and Squire, that makes no sense at all. You just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snapped. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about, I can swear to that. Obviously, the culprit had been outside the hut. There's no way that he or she could have stabbed the victims inside the hut. Actually, Prosecutor Aochi, there's a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing, you're bluffing, Yoko! The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? I mean, I could just freaking present the crime scene photo. Okay, because it was like, yeah. Alright, let's present this.
Take that!
The original photographic print at the crime scene? Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal dress that was delivered from outside the beach hut. Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. Counsel, once again, is calling you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph was trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place outside the hut. Okay, there's a little slit over here. Now that I see it. Okay, over here. Look closely just here. In the scene at the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't. I can't see any such thing. It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls as you'd expect, however. By parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. This is extraordinary! Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there's only one person could have done that. Only one person was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Brighton Menimemoism, it could only have been you.
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower? No, of course not. We're not? If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew it was untouchable. A stool? Have another look at the photograph. She was like right on the back of the hut, the slit in the raid screen. With a line perfectly at the back of the person who's sitting at the stool. My word! So in fact the victim was killed was sitting on the stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the read screen. Ah. Having been attacked, Miss Bear rolls her feet instinctively, but then unable to speak, she coughs on the floor in the middle of the hut, before the defendant Menimemoism's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened at the beach that day. By your science, Menimemoism. I take it that you, whoops. You don't deny the charge. This is absurd! That will do. It would appear that I have attacked the admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Menimemoism, is innocent of the crime. Oh, thank goodness. I finally made a cave. I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be. The ouchie can't. What am I gross? My gross of hope. It wasn't all an operation. Can I accept this? I won't. I see no reason for a continuance of this trial. I'll therefore move. Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. But we established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut, through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. It doesn't matter, I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, this trial has already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. What? What are you talking about? Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up. What? Enough obscurity, explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? Understand that deadly poison we're developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That's correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used. I see. So presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. Tish, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the innocent woman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison. But that can be explained by poison being on the blade as already. Ha! Forgot already, have you, Yogo? During those very proceedings, the laboratory professor decided to assist in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison whatsoever. What if there was poison on the pen? Ugh. So let me get this down. The facts is skillfully established for the defense of the trial turned out to be a headline making a red herring. Is that about right? Well, Order, but where does this leave us? How in that case did the poison enter the victim's body? There's an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. Means she drank it? Have another look at the photograph here, as you can see. A bottle of carbonated water and a glass have been knocked into the sandy floor at the beach hut. Why was she gripping the pen? Like, that question is still unanswered. The poison could have slipped into either. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it. Well, what do you know now? What do you know? Look at his dashing eyes. This is making for a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It'll make no sense at all that I poisoned that woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already. Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten? That's a little hard to believe given that the person established it. It was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Oh, let me catch his wide eyes. His prime press fodder this is. It would seem this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot at magnificent beard, Your Excellency. Your claim to it to be impossible that you're the one responsible for administering poison to the victim. You explained according to your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a journal, I'm a man. I never tried to run or hide for anything in my life. I'm about to start now because that's Menimemoism. For a brief moment, I thought I eliminated the truth, but slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where does this child take us? Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishman, and it's the very fact that proves I'm innocent. Oh my god. Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and the pompous English murder arguing, it got my goat. If the courts were going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. So you put justice into your own hands? I thought you were a journalist. I thought you were supposed to just observe the event happening, not do it yourself. That everything happened as I described. That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the re-screen. You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang, in the middle of the charming lady's back, I punched a blade of sweet justice right in there. Oh my god. As someone spends life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony for, but as it turns out, there was somebody else that had it in for the victim and got it to her before me. That's right, you guessed it. The pretty little student girl, now there's the one after my own heart. You're implicating Ray again. She's the one who gave the poison to Englishman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This journal is off the hook. The argument sounds certainly. If the witness had administered poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently stabbing the victim back would have been entirely nonsensical. And therefore, this referred nothing to do with poison. Yes, it's all quite illogical. That's right, it is. Logical and true. I got it all see the light. Justice at last. This is unbelievable. And after I made so much progress in proving his skill, is he going to get away with it now? Think of Kazuma-san and Naruhodo-san. They must stop looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel. Okay guys, I think that'll be it for part 2 of The Great Ace Attorney 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Next time we'll continue this witness testimony. Okay, bye bye!